I was really kind of apprehensive on Wednesday when I went in because they can't get the blood draw on my right arm now. It kind of, my veins have like forked now because they've done so many blood draws. And I just thought, oh my gosh, we're going to go in. They're going to have to try to draw my blood like 3 or 4 times. And they're finally going to get it on my left side after a couple of tries. And then I thought, I've got to reframe this. And I thought, well, I'm going to be with the nurse, whoever the phlebotomist is to draw my blood. It's a chance to make a new friend. So just trying to find the good, you know, it's like, let's just find the good. So, oh, Shetlander, so you were asking when these treatments will end. So we're going to do another year, and this is just as long as my body can handle this, right? We're going to do another year of the Zometa, which is the bone infusions. That's every 3 months. And then the immunotherapy is indefinitely, and that's kind of a hard thing for me to hear. And that's every month. And that's either until I say it's too much and I can't handle it anymore and I just say, I'm done, I'm going to let the cancer take me, or they'll say that it's too much. And we've gotten to 2 points in the past where they said it was too much and we had to stop. And then what really sucked was the cancer started growing, which is so scary. But one of the times was because I went to liver failure, and the other time was because I got colitis that turned into sepsis. They had to put me on steroids. So as soon as my body felt better, it took about 3 months, something like that, then we could start immunotherapy again. But if we do get to the point where my body can't handle it anymore and my body just starts freaking out and my liver shuts down again or some weird thing, then they did some genetic testing to see if anybody has had a similar kind of melanoma to me, if they've had something that worked. What's sad is some of these patients have passed away. Some of them are still alive, but they have found stuff that did help them live a little bit longer and have sustained their lives, which is awesome. I just feel bad that some of them are not here anymore. But it makes me feel better that all of my labs and everything, I have opted to be in this system so that I can help other people. And that makes me really feel good that I'm still doing something with my life. So usually they'll take an extra vial of blood. You know, when I had to do a spinal tap to see if the cancer had gone to my spinal cord, they took a huge thing of extra spinal fluid, but then they go test it and see if anything that's worked for me could help somebody else and vice versa. And then they can continue to test it too, which is awesome. And like I said, that makes me feel really good. But there are a couple things, clinical trials and things that I can try, and you just never know what could work, what could be the magic bullet just to fix this. But I think until then, I'm just trying to I'm trying to enjoy life, right? I'm trying to just live the best that I can, enjoy my time with my husband and my kids. I think that's the biggest thing. I talked earlier about how, you know, people say that there's the bridge of life where we're born, we die, we're on this bridge. And sometimes people get preoccupied looking at the end or off to the sides of the bridge. And the whole point is to dance on the bridge as we're on our way toward the other side. And that's what I need to do. But it can be hard getting lost in, you know, will they find a cure? Will I survive this? I want to say yes. People say that I'm being negative, but I think I'm being realistic by saying right now they don't have a cure. And I'm just trying to face this the best that I can. You know, that I'm just doing my part, and I guess that's the best that I can do. But it's hard, you know. Belinda, I hope that answered your question too, how I'm getting immunotherapy and bone infusions right now. So, let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to look through. I lost a message I was just going to answer. Keith5595. That's so cool. That's so interesting. About the Star of David, how you got it for your girlfriend. That's awesome. let's see, Maria. So I got to talk to a really nice representative. They haven't paid it yet, but he said he's going to make sure that it gets paid. He's going to try to push it through. So I'm really hoping for the best. It's so nice just when you get to talk to a good representative. It seems to just make all the difference in the world. So yeah, he seemed really kind, and like he seemed really empathetic for my situation too. Just how I said, I'm going through so much. Most of the time I'm not feeling the best, and then I have to call and be on hold with the insurance company and, just waiting for hours, begging them to pay something that I have been paying for them to pay. It's like, why am I paying for insurance if they're not going to do what they promised? And so this guy was really nice and just said, I totally understand. I feel so bad. And yeah, let's see. Rita, I'm done with my radiation treatments. I am, so thank God. I'm just getting my infusions now, which is the immunotherapy and the bone infusions. So the radiation that they recently did was to my pelvis, but the one that they did before that, I wanted to show you guys. I think you guys have all seen this. Hang on. Where the heck did I put that? Here it is. Hold up. So when they do brain radiation, if you have a brain tumor, they put you in a mask like this, okay? And it has spots, 3 spots on each side, and they actually screw it to the table. And it's terrifying, but they want to have up to 1 millimeter of accuracy. And so they don't want you to move at all. And yeah, so I think this is where the radiation went in, if I'm correct. I think it went in here, and then I think it went, like, there are these other markers. I think that's where it went in, because the brain tumor that they did the first radiation on, it was like over in this part of my head. And but this is so tight, you have to bite down on this mouthpiece, and I was wearing a lipstick. So you can see my lipstick because I wanted to look fancy for radiation. I don't know what my malfunction is, but yeah, I was like all done up in the radiation machine. I even had like fake eyelashes on because I'm ridiculous, but that's me. So yeah, they bolt this to the table, and I don't know why. This was literally like the hardest thing, probably one of the hardest things I've ever been through. I can go into surgery, and after the surgery really sucks, but then I'm fine. It's like, okay, we're going to get through this, blah, blah, blah. But getting radiation and having to stay bolted to the table in this was probably over an hour, I think. My husband was saying it was like an hour and 15 minutes. This was terrible for me. And yet there are people who have brain tumors who they have to get this done for like every day for 45 days. And I was just incredibly lucky that they just did this for, the hour and 15 minutes or whatever it was, and we were done. They just like totally zapped it. And I think one of the reasons for that too, it was an emergency. They had to bring me in. It wasn't something that we could wait on. And so sometimes they'll go in and just like hardcore zap it. And other times they'll do like little segments where maybe they have you have this on for like 5 minutes, and they just do these little teeny segments. But they just went for it with me because we were kind of they were just trying to extend my life, But the only way we got through this, so when they're screwing it to the table, it's so close to your ear, you were literally hearing the screwdriver go zzz, zzz, and I started freaking out because I felt like I was on a Saw movie or something. It was terrifying. It was just like my worst nightmare. I can't even describe to you guys, but it was. And so I freaked out and I was screaming, but you have this mouthpiece in. They couldn't hear me screaming. And finally one of the tech goes, I don't think she's okay. This tech said, I don't think she's okay. And so they came over and unscrewed this, and I told them I couldn't do this. And they said, you have to do this or you're going to die. We think that it'll take you in like 6 months. Cancer will just totally eat away at your brain. You've got to do this or you're going to lose time with your family. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I just don't think I'm strong enough to do this. And so they actually called my husband into the room, which they normally don't do. But they called him in and they said, can you hold her hand while we put the mask back on? We need to do this or she's going to die. And so Mike held my hand, and he just knows me so well, and he's such a sweetheart. He told me to close my eyes and to pretend that I was a violin. And I have told him this story so many times, how when I was a teenager, a master luthier came and took my violin, and he buffed it out, he replaced the strings, he replaced the bridge, he just made my violin beautiful, and how much it meant to me. He didn't charge me a thing for this. He just took my violin over the weekend and just made it shine, and that was like one of the kindest things somebody's ever done for me. And I told Mike this story, and so he basically said all that, but he told me to pretend that I was the violin. And so he told me to pretend that God was working on me. And I went to the machine, and I did it. And it sounds so wimpy. It sounds so stupid that I was that scared to go in the machine. But I really, really was. And then just to pretend that God was fixing me. And it's been so ironic because I think that's what God's done through this whole journey. He's fixed me. He's changed me. He's changed my heart. This has been so hard.